channel. And now some chilled discussion after the week's angst with the Doctor Who Detox Hour or two.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. It's only been a few hours. You know what I mean. Well, lots to talk about again. Do I ever say anything different? A feast of Doctor Who fun this Friday with the Doctor Who Detox. Recommended therapy and medication to soothe your whovian angst, anxieties and awkward little sores. All a good doctor prescribes is that you sit back, take in the vibes and vapours for the couple of cheeky hours, and you should be right for the weekend. So, you've been told. We have a real blend of nostalgia and chat today with a real comparison to ponder, previewing Ncuti Season 2 and Robot Revolution versus David Tennant's Season 2. Tasty talk indeed. We have updates on all that hiatus talk and the scheduling fuss, that and anything else that comes up. It's like a bit of cosmic Qatar, this detox. And of course, just to remind you, in case you've been doing crazy things like sleeping, we had a late night chat on the hiatus. God, that word is amazing, isn't it? On the pause, on the mistake that maybe RTD announced. We are lining up all our Sunday shows and reviews. So yes, I'll be live actually at 5:45. The Sunday show without compare with the burning issues or in our review and the criteria, and that'll be a feisty one. But of course, we will be doing our first impressions review tomorrow night live at 11, and that's with a different crew, no repeats on this channel. First impressions of Robot Revolution, the raw reaction, and I think people are going to let rip on that one. So 11 p.m. tomorrow night live on the Robot Revolution, and then on Sunday night you'll get the full works with the details, the reflection, the analysis, the ratings, the criteria. Yeah, you know, the full works that we do. And of course, last Sunday we were slightly busy. We were discussing so much stuff. I mean, I can't go into it here. I mean, there's just loads, but we had a lovely Daryl Joyce's illustrations and videos to enjoy as well. So please, if you've missed any of them, they're all there for you to just enjoy. So please repost us, advertise us, pass on the word to a friend. These are competitive and tricky times, and this does cost. So any free help will be gratefully appreciated. And I really sincerely mean that. So let's see who we can get on. Let's have a look. Now, he's been on the detox from the beginning, so I should always, I think, by rights, have him on first. Here he is. It's Cybermat Strikes. Hiya, Dan.
G'day, Brendan. Hello, gang. How is everyone? I hope everyone's ready for a good detox.
Well, I don't know if the detox is going to work this week with all the stuff we've got to talk about.
I must say, Brendan, I've been watching the Sphere this week, and it's been pretty toxic, I've got to say.
Oh, has it really? Oh, listen to him. Listen to him.
Very, very negative. Very negative.
Very negative. Don't worry, everybody. This is just kind of messing on now. I think seems to be enjoying messing on. Oh, look at that. It's fun when it does that, doesn't it? Yeah, right. Okay. So, first item on the rank, just before I bring the others in. I just found this the other day. Look at that. That's the advert from the first broadcast in Australia of Doctor Who.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Where'd you score that from? That's pretty cool.
You know, just find these things, you know, here and there. Now, the person who may have seen this, because he's so old. Let's just see if I can get him. I don't know if he's...
I know who got this for you now.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Actually, he looks busy at the moment, so I'll get Dwayne on first. Sorry, Dwayne, I wasn't leading you into that one. Sorry.
So old. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm dying the beard.
Yes, my other panelist isn't ready, I can see. So that didn't work, that one. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, and a bit of a Aussie flavour there, you know. Viewers will be posed the question, who is Doctor Who? Is he a gay doctor with the elder? Sorry, I'm going toxic too early. So yeah, there you go.
It's all right. The chat's joining you there, Brendan. It's all good.
Well, let's have a look. Let's see. Is Boomer Doug there? No, look. See, look. There's his chair. Look at that.
I'm
You
here.
upset
I'm
him.
here. I'm here.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing Are you doing some?
Well, I thought you guys are giving me such crap about being so loud. I'm going to do the show from another room. Maybe the sound level will be a little bit better.
He's
All
3
right,
stories
too
down.
loud.
I'll come back.
Did he do
Here
it
I
from
am.
another house?
I thought he was meditating or something. I thought
Meditating? Okay.
a new level of detox.
It's called humour. It's called humour.
Well, all I saw was a chair, and I thought I won't go to you because I was introducing you as the old one who might.
I
have
know
seen
you
it.
were, and you offended me, so I walked out.
Oh well, won't be the first.
No, it wouldn't be the first time, or the last time, probably.
Well, you know me and my colorizations. Look at that, the Zarbi, the Web Planet. Oh,
That's so good.
The beautiful colours in there.
They really
Yeah.
are.
That's awesome.
Look at the distressing on the TARDIS. That looks fantastic.
I know. I didn't know that. I didn't realize the Zarbi had different colors. I just assumed it was all black as well. I should know my insects better, but yeah. And of course, you know, you find your colors and, you know, whatever takes your fancy. I've never been into buying all this extra bits and bats. I mean, I do, lads, get into all this other stuff, the mini doctors and all that. Do you
No,
buy into that?
No,
No,
I
I
like the
can't say
character
I-
actions figures, but that other stuff's all a bit crap.
There you go. If anyone's got it, Boomer Doug said it's crap. There you go.
Sorry.
You've
I've
wasted
started
your-
already, haven't I?
Put your hands back in your pockets.
I'm going.
Anyway, there you go. There's a more of a decent merchandise one. I don't think anyone would knock that. 450 Dalek prizes to be won. You can win a Dalek play suit, a Dalek cutter mastic suit, or a Doctor Who books, Dalek records. Oh my
I had a
God.
Dalek play suit. It was really good. It was like my parents got it for me when I was a kid. It was like a cardboard dome with like a shower curtain sort of thing. With you stuck your hands through the holes for the gun
Yeah.
and the plunger. Fantastic.
And that explains quite a lot then now.
It's a
I like
strange
to think
number. Over 450. Over 450 Dalek prizes, not under.
Yeah.
450.
Yeah.
What a weird number.
I know, isn't
Wonder
it?
where that comes
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, it's I know it's like bric-a-brac, isn't it? And then, of course, if we're sticking to the 60s for a moment, there you go. They look up for action, don't they? Mind you, they look as though they might be going to that Sandringham Hotel in Joy to the World, lining up to meet Ncuti in a kilt. Look at them.
If only
Wow.
that was the 60s. That is not the 60s.
It isn't, is it? They don't look as scary as a Mondasian Cyberman to me. This looks like a very dodgy cosplay.
Mm.
And
The
oh,
60s
yes.
ones were allowed to smoke.
Now, honestly, I obviously I'm booking my holidays for the summer, and obviously I'm trying to find places to go. And actually, I found this place, and you know, I've got my religious background, and I thought I really fancy going there, and I don't know why.
Peladon?
Dan. Yeah, Dan, do you have an idea why I might want to go there?
You're dreaming of Peladon for holidays.
Yeah, a little bit of with Choji might be there as well. You know, a mix of a bit of Tibetan monk with can have a Yeti as well and a bit of Peladon. But yes,
At least you'll find, at least in Peladon, you'll find a big
Careful,
donga
careful.
in a shower curtain.
so you'll find that's actually Turkey.
That's Doug in it. That's Doug in his Dalek suit.
That's what
It
the
might
holes
be.
are for.
Remember, he was actually saying a few weeks ago he's listening to us in his undies, so at least a Dalek suit will be.
Oh,
something.
come on. That was ages ago. It was just a one-off.
Oh, well.
I thought when I saw just the chair, I thought, how's he going to get back without his duds on?
Now,
Not sure, son.
Now, we obviously are mixing preview of Robot Revolution and looking back on David Tennant season 2 with a lot of mirth in between. And lads, I've got an exclusive. When you go trolling the internet, you sometimes see a photograph that nobody else is talking about. So do you want to see an exclusive photograph of episode 6, the Eurovision Interstellar Song Contest? And I'll show you. Are you ready for this? Oh, right, here we go. You'll love it.
Fantastic.
Okay.
What?
What?
What is this?
Is that the chief clown from Greatest Show in the Galaxy's had an operation?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the Interstellar Song Contest. It's just one of those exclusive scenes from it.
The greatest show in the galaxy.
No, I'm teasing the Aussies. It's Celebrity Big Brother. But when I saw the shot, I thought, you know what? It's just like Doctor Who looks nowadays.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm being a terrible tease. Sorry about that, folks. I've probably given people a heart attack. I really should follow my own rules. I mean, here we go. This is what I should have done. That's what I should have done. Sorry about that, folks.
No, I don't want to be detoxed this week. I'm high on classic Who, so I don't need detoxing.
Well, on being on High on Who, we're here to talk about Who, and part of the teasing and
Classic.
everything is obviously to get on talking about the ups and downs of the Time Rota week. So here we go. Okay, so might as well start with Dan. Dan, any ups and downs of your Doctor Who week?
Well, I've got 2 ups.
All right.
One for me, one for you.
Okay.
Well, actually, technically it was last week, but we didn't have a detox, so. But thanks to Dwayne and Philip, I got to meet Matthew Waterhouse, and it was fantastic, I've got to say.
Nice.
Really great. And Brendan, this up's for you. I got to ask Matthew Waterhouse about your favourite scene from Castrovalva. And he confirmed it's a very popular scene, so you're not on your own.
Yes, we all know the scene. It's Nyssa in a wheelchair. No, it's not. And it's Peter Davison in the Zero Room. No, it's not. It's it's
Adric in bondage.
Yeah, the master had him trapped in that matrix, didn't he? And yes, and his pajamas were a bit revealing. So yes, and he was aware of that. So he's very aware. I bet he's very aware. I bet he's got a chapter in a book about that or something.
Oh no, I didn't even get to finish the question before he said, "Oh yeah, no, that's a very popular scene." Apparently,
very popular scene.
It's iconic.
Well, they did have an episode later on in Doctor Who called The Awakening, and that was my awakening. Sorry, no, it's all right. Okay, so
do you know it's fascinating because up until 2 weeks ago, I had no idea that it was even a thing. So,
well, it isn't for some.
I just never even occurred to me.
You a lot were fancying Joe Grant naked with a Dalek. I had to put it with that.
Yeah.
It's not. I tell you what, when they talk about representation, I'm all for it. It's about time we had some decent people to look at, and he wasn't. But it was the start. So anyway, an up for you then?
Oh, sorry, it's all him though, Brendan. That's the other thing.
Ah.
Oh, here we go. It's all here. Yeah.
100%.
He's very popular down under, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was a marsh spider. So
Have I got it down?
What was your good Doctor Who then? Good news.
Mine was getting to meet Matthew.
Oh God, that you glossed over there on me. Yeah. Oh, okay.
You see, you were too hung up there.
So Dwayne, obviously this was part of your Sirens of Audio event. What ups and downs of your week?
Well, along that theme, since we didn't get to talk about it last week, Brendan,
Yeah.
I did get to meet up with both Doug and Dan in person. Doug, I unfortunately was too short a meeting. I would have liked to have spent a bit more time with you, Doug, but I really appreciate you coming over to visit me at the hotel.
It was
that
good
doesn't
fun.
sound good, does it?
I was actually going to say it was a long, hot journey to get there, but that makes it sound worse.
Yeah, but
Not
Dwayne's,
especially after that last topic.
the trouble is, Dwayne's told me that since he's been deaf, but we needed a volume control. No, anyway, yes. So.
You sound like closet Ncuti fans, but
You think he's loud on the stream? Wait till you get him in person. There you go.
Oh, that's not good.
And
That's not good.
yeah, it was good catching up with Dan as well in Sydney. So did that all on the same weekend. That was fantastic, and had a really nice time with Matthew. He's very easy guest to be around, and you know, he has lots of fun when we're out and about doing the touristy stuff as well, which we're able to do.
Okay.
Yeah. But other Doctor Who ups for this week, I got this in the post earlier in the week, Doctor Who and the Savages. I decided to go all in and get the Steel book. I've really enjoyed it. A couple of great documentaries on there that I'm still digesting.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the animations. A lot of people don't. I do. And I even enjoy the colour one. People say, "Oh, definitely watch the Savages in black and white. It's better." But I like the colour one too. And I think the Savages is a really, really good story. Triggering though it may be to some people out there, don't know who, but I find it an excellent story. The first appearance of is it Frederick Jaeger?
Yeah.
In his first role in the series, he had a couple more. Was it 2 more or 1 more? No, he had 2 more. He was in 2 Tom Bakers as well, wasn't he? So yeah, that was a big up for me getting the Savages. I love it.
Well, I'll put it down on it later because yes, obviously it was in the news, and we'll mention that about the Savages getting a warning, a trigger warning. But yeah, oh God, I watched it. I didn't get triggered at all. My God, it's pathetic, really, isn't it? So I'll hit on mine. I mean, obviously it's ups and downs. It affects my YouTube channel at times. So obviously last night I was up late discussing Rtd'S loose lips, I think, really. So if you haven't caught that, I'll see what the lads think. So lads, this is what he said, just so in case you haven't caught it in the YouTube completely yet. He said, you know, I can't, and he was asked basically, is there going to be season 3? Give us some news from a very short news round presenter. And he said, Doctor Who's kind of got a status of Robin Hood now. Sometimes there might be a pause. During that pause, the viewers of Newsround now will grow up for a few years and start writing stories, and they'll bring it back. I mean, I didn't know it had gone. So I have absolute faith that it will survive. Well, I didn't know it wasn't surviving because I'm living proof of it. And that's what happens to good ideas. No good idea ever dies. Who mentioned dying? Who mentioned it going away? Who mentioned... Oh, so... Do you think he's because it has been edited since? Lee Smith has noticed that, and so has the thinking. So, do you think we've stumbled on a mistake?
I did see this, but I'm confused as to what he means by Robin Hood. What does that mean? I don't know.
Legend.
What that means.
It's become a legend. Doctor Who's now a legend in TV or something. And
prancing around in green tights, I think, is what he means.
Could be that as well. Could be that as well.
That's what catches me more than anything.
Yeah, I just start to think he's starting to just, you know.
Sounds like cope to me because Russell killed it. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
My mum used to call it verbal diarrhea, and I think there's an element of verbal diarrhea going on. Too much marketing, too many interviews, too much poor discipline in their mouth. And I think he's accidentally let slip something that a lot of us have discussed in other places and reckon has happened. So he's let the mask down slightly, it looks like to me. All I can say is I'm an English teacher by experience, and he's used...
We know you're an English teacher,
he's
Brandon.
He's paused twice. And then he's talked about survival, and then he's talking about no idea ever dies. Now, add all that together in the paragraph he's used when he's asked about season 3. The psychology there is something's not working, or
Interesting.
Remember, the question wasn't anything about death or being sacked or anything. So I feel as though he's given a lot away. Dan, your thoughts on this one?
Oh, look, yeah, I think there is more to this, and I think he's starting to. I feel like he's laying the foundation for bad news that's coming. It's yeah. At the end of the day, though, when the series went away last time, at least with the fans, that people could appreciate that it had a good couple of years and there was still life left in the show, but. Lately, it feels like it's been getting kicked in the guts.
Yeah, and it. I mean, we are going to preview the episode that's going to be on tomorrow. I mean, God, as Doctor Who fans, we're so excited. I know, and it just doesn't.
Oh, can't wait.
Because the marketing's been all over the place. Well, I will cheer you first. This is the detox after all. And
what about my ups and downs? Am I just Scotch mist or something?
Well, the reason is, Boomer Doug, because I know your answer will be you have to now answer that it was meeting Dan and Dwayne, because if you don't say that, you're screwed.
No, it wasn't. Well, no, there were no Doctor Who moments, but I did watch the local drug dealer get arrested today while I was at the bus stop. 3 4-wheel drives came out of nowhere, tackled him down, and one of them, I swear to God, said, "Get down, punk." This was an Australian cop. I'm watching too many Dirty Harrys. He yelled, "Get down, punk." And they took him down while I was waiting for my bus. That was my up for the week.
So it was an up. I wasn't sure if it was an up or a down. But
no, it's the local drug dealer. Come on, drugs are bad.
I'm fixated with Adric's pajamas, and you're talking about a drug pushing kind of episode. My God, we're all on different planets.
It was exciting. I was at the bus stop, and it was just like being in the middle of Starsky and Hutch, and I was Huggy Bear.
Oh dear. Well, in the last week, it was Robert Holmes. It was Robert Holmes's birthday, and I know people often say it's people's birthdays when they're no longer here, but it gives us a lovely excuse for a moment as detoxers to detox. And you can see the full list of what he wrote for Doctor Who there. Oh my God, what would you just like to watch now, just to cheer you up, Dan?
All of them. Oh.
It's a bit like if I said to you, your Doctor Who Desert Island, and you can only take one. You know, you can take the Shakespeare book. They give you certain things you can take to your Desert Island discs. What one Robert Holmes story would you take to your Desert Island?
Deadly Assassin.
Interesting. Reason why?
No, I changed my mind. Talons and Wing Chun.
Reason why then?
6 episodes.
I do,
and I just love I love Leela. There's nothing not to love about.
I love Leela.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a great Victorian. I like the Victorian vibe, the mood. I like the context. So, Dwayne, what would you take to your desert island, your Doctor Who desert island?
The Crotons. No, I'm just joking. It would be the Talons of Wang Chiang.
There's 2 for the
Talons of Wang Chiang, because that has the greatest nostalgic impact on me as a kid.
Yeah. And do you know that I did not know until the DVD release came out that John Bennett
wasn't really
That's pretty late.
It is pretty late. I just had no idea. That's how disconnected I was.
Unbelievable. And so what I'll do is we've finished discussing that now. I'll leave Doug out.
Oh, Christ! Why am I even here?
No, it's because I was guessing that you're going to say Talons because the other 2 have, so I was going to move on.
I was going to say the Man from U.N.C.L.E. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. would be the one I would take.
Doug's here for the volume check.
Yeah, nobody watches that, Doug.
Oh, you know that's different. I'm not even going to say.
Doug's going to talk about a Blake 7 episode or something.
No, Doug's very pleased because his channel has got
1,300 subscribers in 2 weeks. That's what it's got.
Yeah.
So don't tell me nobody watches
so,
Mr. Noble.
That's 1,290 more than me in a week. That's not bad. Yeah, that's. But there you go. So what would you pick, Doug?
Is he outstripping Sense Fear, is he?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Jeez, we better bow to the king.
I know. So, Doug, what would you pick from that Robert Holmes list for your Ireland?
I actually quite like the Time Warrior. But I was going to say Talons, but that's everyone said Talons. I quite like the Time Warrior. Actually, do you know what? Spearhead from Space was my favourite John Pertwee episode, and that's the one. I think that's the one that revitalised Doctor Who, because as much as I love Troughton, the show was kind of in a bad way, and I think Spearhead from Space did so much good and set the groundwork for the show that we love. So Spearhead from Space, there you go.
Yeah, and obviously Talons is a favourite of mine as well, but I think not far behind, which surprises me sometimes, but it had such an impact when the season was looking a certain way, the Doctor was looking a certain way, and then suddenly Caves of Androzani lands, and whoa, that took off. But I take the lad's points at 6 episodes of Victoriana as well, there's a lot of mood there in the Talons, but I have to say the Caves of Androzani I thought was outstanding to show you can re-energize a program. It had a kind of earth shock effect. It was like, whoa. And of course, you suddenly got a proper Doctor Who writer, and he could wipe the floor with a lot of them and show them, yeah, this is how you can do it. I had a lot of his tropes in there when, he had some great partnerships going on. And it was a good regeneration. I thought that was a good regeneration story. So, yes. Now, lads, that was our detox, of course. How concerned or nervous are you about what might be about to happen in season 2? Because what I wanted to say to you, lads, is the writer who wrote season 1 and showran season 1 thought these moments were outstanding. The Doctor meeting some rogue saying, I think you should go outside. Ooh, fast mover, clears throat. It's all sexual tension. You have great dialogue like from unit commander. You've got a granddaughter. That means you've got kids. I mean, I think she's got GCSEs or something. Oh, no, not yet. You can have a granddaughter before a daughter. I'm a Time Lord. I mean, it's startling stuff. And then, of course, the great moment in Rogue when they started talking about how the Rogue spaceship was messy and you need company. I mean, you can see, and of course, great dialogue and great thoughts and great wisdom, like Rose contains the he and the she and the neither and the both. This is, you're going to get top class writing, don't you? And then, of course, you get the shock that when he was a lot younger, he was telling us, never mind your pantheons and gods and your great mythologies. Actually, it's the ordinary people that are the most important thing. They are the universe, what it's all about. I love writing stuff like that. And nothing's changed. So I'm asking you basically, how excited, how engaged, how worried are you about what is about to start tomorrow? Dan?
I'm not worried, because out of something bad must come something good. No.
Oh dear me. We're going to be trawling to...
Touch the wires.
You never say that about Peladon.
Look, I was watching Empire. I've watched some season 14 to sort of get in the flow of things, and just to see if it was how I remembered it. Plus, I'd paid for my Disney subscription again, so I thought I'd try and watch something on the damn streaming service. And anyway, it's as bad as I remember it. I mean, you're just quoting some fantastic quotes from last season, yep. And all that carefully selected dialogue. I was just remembering a quote where the Doctor says to oh, what's her name? Ruby. Remember it harder. I'm thinking, yeah, that's a classic, that one. Remember it harder.
The amount of times I've heard that said to me.
Well, you've got Stephen. This is always the snag when you get the Aussies late at night on a Friday. Yeah. Sometimes I think I've already lost them before they come on. Stephen Braddock. I saw the scene of Belinda being kidnapped. Her acting was awful. Mind you, the writing was awful. Yes, I saw that trailer and I referenced it last night. I suppose and I will show the shots in a moment when we do look at the Robot Revolution in detail, because you can tell the lads are really up for it. But yeah,
this is a Brendan dream scene, I think.
I know what's going on.
Oh, that's where I was supposed to be last night, but I suddenly had to do an emergency stream. There you go. So Dwayne,
that's why we weren't here last week.
So Dwayne, your thoughts, your honest thoughts as a Doctor Who fan.
Oh, what about what's coming up? You know what my thoughts are. I'm not even going to be bothering watching. What I am excited about is the reviews that are coming from your channel and other channels out there. I find them far more entertaining than the actual show. So I'm really excited about those.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it, that so many people have said to me they would not watch season 2 of Doctor Who if it hadn't been for me asking them to review for either my Saturday show or for my Sunday show or for my Tuesday show. And like I said, I'll just say it very quickly one more time. There are 3 different panels, 3 different formats. It's not repeat and rinse and repeat. That's boring. I will raw review on Saturday night when, what's just hit us. The formal review with the marks and the ratings and all the reflection and the controversies. And then on Tuesday night, with only a panel of under 35s, his Children of Time, Rtd'S chosen crowd. And that's going to be so sarcastic. So please tune in for those 3. So,
if you asked me to review the season, I would review it for you. But I still wouldn't watch it.
Well,
okay.
Doug will be there on Saturday night. And so, Doug, how much are you looking forward to it or nervous about what's coming?
Well, I was getting nervous because you were talking about brand new panels. And I thought I was supposed to be on the show. So I thought maybe you'd sack me on air or something. I'm very much looking forward to the Who night. You told me it was midnight, though. When did it become 11?
When I made the poster saying it was 11, because obviously 11
well, I did a bloody trailer that said midnight, so there you go. I've got to take that down from my channel. What's going on?
It's your Aussie time zones. So
it's your northern brain, that's what it is.
So basically what we've got here is we've got 3 panelists not looking forward to the season.
I'm looking forward to it.
Daryl Joyce in the thread said guaranteed entertainment from Disparu. That's one I'm very much looking forward to. I was very sad when it was only 8 episodes long. When Disparu finished after only 8 episodes, I just wanted it to keep going forever.
Well, just on the quiet, Disparu, and he's a very busy man. He's a gentleman as well, but he has said to me he will come on for one of mine.
Nice.
So he said, save it for a really controversial one. So basically, yes, and lovely, very supportive, decent bloke. And I agree with what you're saying about him, of course, as well. So the marketing's been going on. It feels like, I talked about Rtd'S verbal diary, but it feels like image diarrhea. I just feel as though I'm just seeing too much. I feel as though I've actually seen the season. Yeah, I just don't know what's going on. So, to cheer you up one more time before we go heavily into Robot Revolution, like it or not, lads, I did discover in some of my research, I was looking at this and I saw all the drawings for the original Eccleston TARDIS, all the designs. And it just, I don't know, it cheered me up because I have to say, I know it's 20 years ago and we've all discussed that for the last month or two, but do you know what? You've got the roundels given a new lease of life for good or bad. You've got the actual, artists' impressions of how this TARDIS console could look, how it could work. You've got all the little bit knickknacks and accessories and the ways that we're going to make the monitor work and notebooks and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it fascinated me because I just thought, this is when, you'd been in the wilderness years and Doctor Who was coming back and somebody with their little pencil or pen started to design our new TARDIS interior. And gosh, once you start putting it onto the computer and you start to show the possibilities, I still like the look of this. I mean, I know we didn't quite get what's put there, but is it a TARDIS you think you could see what they were trying to do? Do you think it was the right step when we came back in 2005?
It's a lovely console.
I think what we got was fantastic at the time. It was just so interesting to see something new and different.
It is lovely. I was lucky enough to see it in person. I went to the Doctor Who experience when it first opened, and that set was one of the main events. And that console is fantastic. I'm not crazy about some of the design, but that console is beautiful.
Yeah. What do you think?
Did you go to Longleat?
What? Sorry, what?
Don't worry, it's gone now.
What do you think, Dwayne? What were your thoughts on this one?
That shot in particular sort of harkens back a little bit to the TV movie console room with its opening up into the ceiling area as part of the monitor, and I really like that. It's still probably my favorite console room, the TV movie one. I don't think it's ever been bettered personally. I think that's
fantastic.
The homeliest one. I think the closest we got to was maybe Capaldi.
Yes.
When
totally
his
agree.
console room. But that said, I still did love Eccleston's. I thought that suited him very well, that console room. It was gritty, it was darker. I think it suited his personality very well. Maybe not so much David Tennant's, but definitely Eccleston.
Yeah, I mean, I get sick of saying I'd love Doctor Who to be darker, but what's fascinating about that, I mean, I know it's just the drawing and the design ideas, but it's a bit bare. I mean, it's got an interesting shape, and it does make me think. Although you were finding the console appealing, then when you compare to what we've got now, what have they got wrong? What have they got wrong when you compare 20 years ago to now? I think the vastness is wrong. I just think I know we've.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. We discussed this off air. I don't think they've got it wrong. I think they didn't dress it correctly. They could have made it really interesting, but you're right. The space is probably a bit big.
I know that the whole idea is the TARDIS is bigger on the inside, and now we've got money we can show off. But I actually think the Doctor Who movie managed to make the size inside fascinating and interesting.
Yeah,
but this is just a warehouse of nothing. I mean, William Hartnell's TARDIS tried to really show off the size of it, the very first one. And that did it better and had more interesting features than this present one.
But the thing on the wall is the same shape as the sonic screwdriver. There you go.
Oh, well, that's good.
There's consistency there.
That's just clever, isn't it?
Yeah, when you've got artists doing that, that's all you need, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Now, you've already watched. Go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question about the McGann TARDIS or McGann TARDIS.
McGann?
McGann! Oh, hell
it says like
McGann! He's gone sat on the grass in his arse. Oh.
Yes. Well, in the McGann TARDIS, how did you guys react at the time to just the casualness of the fact that the Eye of Harmony was suddenly in the middle of the cloister room?
Didn't worry.
Did that bother you at the time?
Nah.
Yes, it did. It did bother me. But there were so many other good things about it. I was able to overlook it. However, it is quite pivotal to the story. So exactly. I think the main Eye of Harmony is on Gallifrey, and you've got all these little Eyes of Harmony inside TARDISes. I think that's how I cannoned it off in my head.
I think that's how I ended up rationalizing it too. It was like, okay, so they're all connected, and and yes, but at the time I was like, no, it's Flux nor with the Rush. It's back on Gallifrey.
Now, just before I move topic, Toonami here, we do have super chats available for people because sometimes I do miss things while I'm trying to keep the chat going. Toonami here up in my region. Afternoon. Do you guys think Doctor Who still has a future if the BBC cut the budget and find a new showrunner and writers with new ideas? I do, but right now it's looking bleak. I think there's lots of possibilities. I still think 25-minute episodes. I've already done the maths. You could have basically had the 8-episode season turned into 16 episodes, get rid of the spin-off, and there's another 10 episodes of 25. There's your 26 weeks of Doctor Who for 25 minutes. Get it back in the national consciousness. Just get on with that. Make it as it used to be. Get the formula back. Stop this nonsense pretending the Doctor Who is a soap opera, is a comedy, is a musical. Get back to what it was. He's trying to just steer it as far as he can from somebody else's territory. He's trying to make it his territory. Toonami, I think it's easier than people realize once you get him out the way.
I think that I don't think it has a good future at the moment. I think it's gone way too far. I think everything's been just destroyed, and I think it could be fixed if someone had the guts to go and retcon things.
Yes,
if they wanted to keep it the same show, but no one's got the guts to do it because everyone wants to save face, and everyone wants to be nice to everyone else and not, step on the person before them's toes. You need someone to come in who doesn't care about stepping on a previous showrunner's toes and just the darn thing. If you want to keep it in the same, stream of continuity, the same show from 1963, it has to be rewritten. And a lot of these things have to be written out. But no one's going to do it. So I don't see that it does have a good future because it's been wrecked.
Yeah. More than a decade ago, says David Harding, a guy did a comic strip called The 10 Doctors, which actually made use of the portal to the Eye of Harmony being in the TARDISes from the McGann's Doctor and on as a plot point. There you go. Okay. People are listening. There you go. So our Dwayne was showing us the Savages there, and of course it hit the news this week. It was on GB News. BBC Doctor Who slapped with bizarre new trigger warnings as classic episode deemed discriminatory about aliens. Another iconic BBC show is slapped with discriminatory trigger warnings just 1 month after Lost episode was re-released. And of course, the details about it, it's all in the booklet part. I mean, honestly, Dwayne's watched it. I've watched it. I wasn't even aware of any of this nonsense. And I do sometimes think the media just likes to have it both ways as well and just trigger us all about something. So the BBC synopsis says, the TARDIS arrives on the world, a seemingly utopian society, enjoying fulfilling happy lives, la, 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 la. The first Doctor gets there. References are made to discrimination and to the exploitation of people by more technically advanced civilizations. I mean, shock horror. So there you go. That was it. That's in essence the controversy. So, Dwayne, did you get through it without being too triggered? Did you need the warnings?
Only just. My complaint is I've just been looking on the back of it and where the copyright business is. It says this content was originally broadcast in 1966 and reflects the broadcast standards, language and attitudes of its time. Really? I didn't know that. Some viewers may find this content offensive. That writing is so small on the back there, you can hardly see it. How dare they make that so small? If only I'd have known that was there, I probably wouldn't have bought it,
Yeah, because they know that sensitive people can read small print. Insensitive people need big print. So maybe that's what's happening there. So,
They put the same trigger warning on season 14, though.
Did they? Oh, right, because it's Talons.
Yeah. No. Season 14, 2024.
What?
But the views this was made in 2024, and the views may offend other people.
Oh, okay.
The views might offend everybody who watches it because they want Doctor Who back.
I know. Maybe it just says it triggers the fans. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Doctor Who fans don't buy the DVDs. That's what it says. Other people, our new audience, the lovely new audience that RTD has discovered, his Children of Time, please buy these DVDs. So yeah, it was a media storm. I suppose some streamers get very excited.
Brendan, could you go back to that previous page?
Okay.
Because that's very strange. Verbal references to discrimination and the discriminatory social structure of an alien society. So now we're being offended by fictitious alien planets now?
Yep.
What is going on?
I don't think you can watch Planet of the Apes now because that's a discriminatory society as well.
Dirty apes.
This is just stupid. So you can't watch the movie 1984 now because it's discriminatory and it's oppressive. It's a story, for God's sake. That's why people are tuning in. These people.
That's what the story is about.
Yeah.
The story is about discrimination and oppression and overcoming it. That's the point.
Who goes to Isn't drama?
These guys have become Puritans.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to know who picks these things up, reads that, and goes, "Oh no, I'm putting that down now. No, can't watch that." Who does that?
Ideas here.
Somebody does.
Well, there's always somebody in these massive organisations now because they've got more money to waste. We've always mentioned they've got intimacy coordinators, DEI officers. There'll be somebody who has to just, that they have script editors in publishing companies who are saying that Roald Dahl's offensive to fatties, and we can't.
They're called Karens.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is absolutely crazy what's going on. And let's be honest, the whole essence of drama is you have to have some tension. Nobody would watch a drama where everybody gets on. Nobody would watch a drama where everybody lives in a utopia. You just wouldn't watch it.
What world are we living in now? What world are we living in?
Someone in the thread said they've got Till Death Do Us Part, the box set, and that's one of those potentially triggering shows that's probably got warnings all over it on streaming television. But I also like an old show called Love Thy Neighbor. And I've had people say to me, "Oh, you can't possibly have anything like that because Love Thy Neighbor is all about racism." But what it does, if you actually watch the show, is that it shows how stupid racism is.
Exactly.
And how stupid the person who is racist is. That's the point. But people are so busy being offended. People are so offended with what he's actually saying instead of what's the message behind why it's there like that. It's the same as what has happened with the Savages. They're missing the point altogether.
You know how judgmental these people are. My wife used to work at the ABC shop. I think I might have mentioned that a few times. And all her she's from an ethnic background, but quite often the people coming in to ask for these shows are people represented or are the butt of these jokes. They actually, everyone tended to find them. They were popular because they were actually funny. Because they could take a joke.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
that's brilliantly said because we have this thing about being offended on their behalf when a lot of the times no one's offended.
Well,
it's funny.
Well, this is the essence of the nonsense now. Why RTD cleaned up Davros so he doesn't offend somebody else who isn't offended by Davros. It's this nonsense of I'm worried about the people who might be offended. Stop patronizing people. Listen, if we're good enough to buy a 1964 old, a episode animated, not at top scale and top budget, well done us, but don't start patronizing us with all this stupidity. I mean, it seems stupid to me. If you read this and you have a nervous disposition, you probably wouldn't buy the blooming thing, going, "Oh God, this sounds shocking. I'll go and buy something else instead." This is stupid. Oh, honestly. And I have to say, I just wonder about Deadly Assassin. I wonder about Talons of Wen Cheyenne, Brain of Morbius. You think of the Hinchcliffe period. Can you imagine them now saying, your kids will wet the bed, your kids will have nightmares, your kids will be engrossed. Don't get your kids into telly. Don't get your kids excited. Go and play football.
Hey, Brendan, there's about 3 or 4 people that have mentioned the exact same show, Mind Your Language, and that show in particular, so many people would come in and ask my wife for that show.
Yes.
But Mind Your Language wasn't... That was about stereotypes of different
correct
ethnic groups, and they're funny. They are funny.
They're super well written. The dialogue is so snappy and so witty.
Yeah.
Like, it's the quality of the writing in that show is phenomenal.
But we did our detox review. We did a review of Joy to the World. And remember, one of my points with Trevor and the Doctor was that these writers, who are obviously on top of their game, apparently, and they would never write discriminatory, terrible stuff, had Trevor been patronised as not very bright by the Doctor. You have Donna Noble thin-shaming the 14th Doctor. This isn't clever language, and it's no better than some of the stuff they are looking down upon from the 60s. I just think they need to wind their neck in and stop thinking they're any better than some of the writers in the 60s, because they're not. So they're no. I've put them in their place, not having that.
It's all a bit sad, really. I all I can do is quote my dear old dad when he would comfort me with the immortal words, just toughen up, princess. That was his solution to everything. So, toughen up, princess. Toughen up, guys. It's only words. It's only drama.
I'd have a cup of cement and harden up.
I like that.
Well, I'm going to trigger you now, everybody. Should I do the alert? Should I don't know. I should really get the alert ready. Right, we're going to look at Robot Revolution, and we're going to look at what's coming in 24 hours time. But let me just give you a taster to set up the season, just to get you so excited, you great Doctor Who fans. Here we go. There we go. Are you up for it then? Have I tempted you?
Yep.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. What was that?
So there's no escape now, Dwayne. This is it. There's no escape. 3 days to go, 2 days to go, 1 day to go. It's all going to happen. It's the end of... I mean, isn't this exciting? Look at that. Oh, wow. So
when's it coming on Disney Plus? Is it going to be at 5:30 a.m.? I'll be there.
Yes.
One more sleep.
No, well, in Australia, it's going to be about 5 p.m. So Saturday afternoon. It's going to be...
I thought it was in the morning.
Boring.
Oh, come on.
Well, as Garbage says,
September.
Well, as Garbage says, the trailer, I have to say, some of the trailers look good, some of the trailers are less so. I think they've overdone it. In Britain, it starts at 6:50 tomorrow. That's on terrestrial TV, of course. I know you can get it at various other blooming stupid times. It's up against Ant and Dec's Britain's Got Talent. I don't think that's going to score very well. Now, I was going to say to you, lads, we know that actually its survival depends on a lot of things, and one of them is the ratings. Now, knowing where you feel and knowing where we are here, what would your figure be? I want you to all guess. What do you think would be a possible ratings score for the Robot Revolution tomorrow? Because we've all been waiting for it, apparently. and it's been heavily marketed, and it's got robots. So what do you reckon, Dan? What figure would you put on the ratings for tomorrow in Britain?
You mean the overnight or the plus 400 or whatever it is?
We'll go for the overnights, just so we can measure it.
Okay, overnight, I reckon 2 million.
You say 2 million, Dwayne?
Yeah, I'm going to, because it's the opening episode, I'm going to go 2.5 to 3.
2.5 to 3. And Doug?
I reckon it'll be 2 million, but after that, I reckon it'll drop to 1 million if they're lucky.
Okay.
Sorry, Brendan, can we just qualify this? What's the weather like tomorrow?
Well, it is Britain after all, so a heat wave is if it's 15 or more.
How's the grass looking like?
Yes, it's still looking green. It's still looking green, so we can actually go and touch it. Well, you've got people here saying between 2 million, 3 million, less than 2 million.
No way, 3 million. No way.
Well,
I think it's going to drop below 2 because it didn't drop below 2 last year, did it?
No, it will. I reckon it'll be 1
I
million.
think it will drop. It'll drop below 2 this season, but I don't think it'll be for the first episode.
No. I'll give you some context because I think this is the only fair way to do it and not the way that RTD waffles on about it. You've got here. I managed to get the latest Sunday. I couldn't get a Saturday, but it gives you the vibe on BBC One at 6 o'clock. 2.4. Antiques Roadshow. I mean, come on, Antiques Roadshow. 3.5 million. Then £10 Poms, who happen to go to your country, 3.2 million, and that's at 8 o'clock. So basically, around 3 million seems to be the vibe for the weekend on BBC One at the moment. So it's going to be interesting, and I think that's the fair comparison to what will Doctor Who do. I mean,
it's not going to do 3 million. It's not going to do 3 million.
It's interesting though. I mean, if Doctor Who doesn't beat Antiques Roadshow with its Disney money, you have to start wondering, well, what the hell's going on?
Imagine if
you dance down Rundle Mall if it is over 3 million, Doug?
No, I'm not dancing anywhere, and there isn't going to be a series 3, so I'm pretty safe. After that, I'm just going to shut up.
Oh, this was a new one. If it gets over 3,
no, let's not do new ones. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. But I don't think it's going to be over 3 million. But I'm not going to stake anything on it.
Well,
it's going to be 2 million tops. Then it's going to drop to 1 million.
And as you know, and this is just so you can see, what we used to be getting used to. Look at that, April 2005. It shows you how the TV audience has disappeared, which is what RTD seems to delight in telling us. And there's good old Doctor Who in 6th place, 8.86 million. So, it's got an awful lot of work to do, this new series. So what have we discovered in the millions of interviews and stuff like that? I've pulled a bit out for you. Are we going to see a different side to the Doctor this year? I bloody hope so. Well, RTD says a couple of episodes where he's very much out of his depth. I didn't know if he was talking about the actor or he was talking about the Doctor. I was thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean he's out of his depth? And then he says,
like last season?
Yeah. Ncuti has got the full range, apparently. I don't know. I didn't know that's been checked out.
Full range of what?
Yeah, well, tiers. You've got 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tiers, and acidic tiers. There you go. Some moments of real, genuine comedy that I think we've never had a chance to play. And
Stop doing comedy. Stop it.
I really don't get this fixation with comedy.
No, stop it.
Word comedy's not funny.
No.
So there you go. That gets you excited, doesn't it? Thinking that he's thinking about the comedy and that Ncuti's good at the comedy. Dear God. So there you go. That's the first warning from me. You see, obviously, the figures, his silhouettes for this season 2. Gosh, he's the multicolored Doctor, all right, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Like that.
Yeah.
Why do they bother with all this? Because every promotional shot is always in that bloody long leather coat. So they've obviously decided that was his silhouette, but they never use it in the episodes. It's ridiculous.
I don't know where we go. And to be honest, when he's got his bowler hat and pinstripe suit, isn't there an element of cultural appropriation going on there?
Yeah.
You know, when do we say cultural appropriation, and when are we told to shut up about that? So, Talons of Wenchayan, disgusting. Pyramids of Mars, disgusting. Ncuti, Rwandan born in a pinstripe suit with a bowler hat, not cultural appropriation.
Well, you said it. I was going to say it less tactfully, but you said it beautifully.
I just wonder where all these silly people go at night to think up this crap. So yeah, there you go. And of course, he's Scottish, don't you know? So we'll get a little bit of tartan in and a bit of this and a bit of that. Anyway, what did we learn here about the dynamic? Because I'm being honest, this is a photograph from the Robot Revolution. What's the dynamic between the companion and the Doctor? Please tell us, RTD. Belinda is not like Ruby. It's more of a life. It's more of a life interruption. And how dare he have the nerve to do this to her? Vibes of Tegan, vibes of Donna. Yeah. So, is there a theme, RTD, to this season? And he says, yes, it's called Get Belinda Home. Surviving the first episode is a bit of an ordeal for her. And the reason for that is something very important that runs across the series stops the TARDIS taking her home to the 24th of May, 2025 at 7:30 in the morning. Something's stopping them. Why can't the Doctor get Belinda home? What's happening? What force is working against them? Is it to do with her? Is it to do with him? Is it something on that date? Still awake, lads. There you go. It's so exciting.
How many times has this kind of thing been done, though, particularly in RTD? Well, in all the modern series, actually. Like, if you think about, like, Hinchcliffe is, generally accepted as one of the best classic producers. Think about season 13. What did we have? Did we have a theme running through the whole season? Did we? We had excellent stories, a great established Doctor, established companion, going into stories, getting into scrapes, having adventures, getting out of trouble, solving problems, and that was what was most enjoyable and still is to many of us. Yeah. Why can't we just have that?
Yes,
that's my question.
Well, he does answer in one of his many interviews. He says, this is a classic season of Doctor Who where every story is different. And I know what you mean by different, Dwayne, where basically we have a series where there's no arc and we just go to different planets and get on with just adventures. But he obviously is doing that heavy duty. It's different. There's comedy one week, a musical another week. It's just amazing. And it's got an arc, and it's got Easter eggs, and it's got reveals, and it's got surprises, and you have to tune in. Yeah. It sounds to me as though he's done it on the back of a fag packet. Companion can't get home. Something's stopping them. Every week, we just look at one of the things that's stopping them. I mean, it's so easy. Got written there, right? I'm on holiday now. Bye. It's too easy. It's too easy, this. Now, Mrs. Flood, obviously, we've been waiting forever. When RTD says he told Anita Dobson what her actual role was, she was so delighted to be given such a big, amazing story. She will be mysteriously cropping up throughout time and space. She has the ability to cross planets and their history. So, and as Dwayne, you said, we've had characters like that before as well. Susan Twist was everywhere last year.
Mm-hmm.
If she turns out to be the monk or something stupid like that, I'm going to have the shits.
Do you know what, Dan, I was actually thinking that. Do you know what? I thought the very same thing. I thought, are they doing a gender fluid meddling monk?
I think they might be.
They're having fun. Because that shot is from early in the episode when she happens to be in the next garden watching Varada Sethu being kidnapped. And she just watches. And actually, I'll show you exactly what happens because we've had so many trailers. So basically, Varada Sethu says, will you tell my parents that I'm being kidnapped by robots? It's great dialogue. And then she just says, bye. She doesn't show she cares. She bye-bye. Robot takes off. And then as she's watching the robot take off, suddenly the doctor appears in the garden opposite and shouts Belinda. And as soon as she sees him, she says to the audience, "You ain't seen me." Breaking the fourth wall again. It's this sort of thing that it puts shivers down my spine of what are we going to do with this series?
Well, we're going to find out, I guess.
I don't know what to say. I think she probably is going to be something like the meddling. I don't think she's going to be a villain. She's going to be like something in between, like the meddling monk, or I don't know. God forbid if she's Susan. I really hope that's not where they're going.
But it doesn't make any sense to me that the doctor sees he's obviously trying to find Belinda, and Belinda is already in this rocket, and it's taken off, and he's underneath the rocket, and he's shouting at a rocket, Belinda.
How does he know her name? How does he know it's Belinda? He's only just.
Well, he's looking her up. But the point is, he's the doctor. He's 1,000 years old. He knows he's a scientist. He understands things. He's shouting at a rocket. What? It's going to come back? I mean, it's just a pathetic soap opera moment. You know, it's just. And yeah, so she's about to.
She turns into the fugitive doctor or something.
Oh, don't.
She's going to.
Don't.
The big guess is episode 6 at the end of the Eurovision blah, blah, blah. She will reveal, a bit like Utopia, remember? The master revealed himself and then it led into the 2 episodes at the end.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Bye. Look, I know you're flagging, lads, and you're not getting excited enough, I feel, for what you should be.
We have gone very quiet, haven't we?
Let me just remind you that Rtd says this season will be bigger, brighter, bolder, darker. Yeah. So come on, whoa.
He could choke her out at the beginning of episode 1, like Twin Dilemma. That would get people talking.
And you know what? Well, last night, Dan, I was telling people that there was a quotation saying that the BBC iPlayer is doing really well with the watchers for Doctor Who. They've had 70 million viewer hours in 2024. So it's been, as RTD says, it's been ferocious. It's huge. But that's because of the classic Who, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not because
Probably.
of... Yeah, it won't be everybody saying, "Oh, I must watch Star Beast and Devil's Cord."
No.
Well, I tried to rewatch season 14. I think I skipped all but 4 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes. I just had no interest in going back to most of it.
Yeah, and I've said to so many of my panelists, it sounds as though they've only watched things once.
I gave Dot and Barbel a real close rewatch, just because Dwayne was so complimentary of it last show. I thought I've got to see if it's, knowing how it all pans out. I want to see if the threads were there from the get-go.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, but at the same time, I still look at it and just go, it's super cringe. The end, it doesn't hang together from my perspective.
No.
So what was I complimentary about?
Dot and Bubble.
Don't you remember?
So were you punking me? Were you just trying to wind us up?
Daryl Joyce here.
You loved it, didn't you?
Sounds like RTD doing his attempt at the mind robber with all his left field fantasy episodes with added toxic masculinity and soap opera. Yes, Daryl, you've been hearing about the previews as well. I mean, the write-up for the episode, it's a mad old world, but things soon turn serious. People are dying. Rebels are fighting back, and a terrifying wedding's been arranged. Belinda's trapped in the middle of hulking red robots, an evil AI generator, rocket ships, laser battles, a funny little friend called Scoot, and the court historian, a man who speaks in a very strange pattern that might hold the clue to her escape. And the doctor's got problems of his own. What to wear? If he can save Belinda from the madhouse, their journey together is only beginning. I mean, honestly, I can see you salivating. This is going to be absolutely top stuff. I mean, we have a soap opera moment, lads. Isn't this good? We have a moment from years earlier that they filmed, and you see her being proposed to when she was younger. Hey, so timey-wimey soap opera plot. Just what you want.
It's clever.
Just what you want. Brilliant, brilliant.
Just so you can shut the guy down and reject him.
Yeah. I wonder if he was toxic. He was probably too toxic for her.
He was way too toxic.
I just hope they don't frump her up the whole season. You know.
Well.
I know you don't.
Well, the thing is here isn't this a
male gaze?
We are going to be looking at season 2, David Tennant. Isn't this a bit Martha Jones as well? Isn't it? The way she started.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But that was so much better, wasn't it?
So I'm going to go through the photographs so you can see how the episode will be. You know, it's going to be like Casualty or Holby City. There's our great hero landing, obviously wanting to find Belinda, and a few little promo shots. Oh, it's a great wheeze. It's fantastic.
I think Rtd's schooling Chibnall on how to put the companion on a career path and keep them on it through the whole season.
Well, it'd be
unlike
great.
The policewoman that wasn't a policewoman.
He will have learned. He will have learned this time not to have a companion of colour who, unfortunately, is put in the position of always having this angst of unrequited love, because that made her, unfortunately, made Martha Jones fawning over this man, and he won't do that again. He'll have her given back. But of course, you know, we've had these hospital episodes before. You know, we've had it with, you know, Smith and Jones that we will look at today when we talk about that season 2. But honestly, you just have to do that. There's our 10th Doctor in action, and there's our 15th Doctor. Is this something that it just doesn't look like Doctor Who? This is the point. It just doesn't look like Doctor Who. There's nothing about, you know, why is he in that? And of course, here's the story. You know, something comes to get her. You've got a big robot at the door. It's not a Jehovah's Witness or anything. It's just a bang, bang. Here we go. And then in it comes with the smiley face. There she is in her pajamas. It's shocking. She's kidnapped in her pajamas. What can you do? And then it says it's got her star chart, because obviously that little kind of prequel was all about the star being named after his girlfriend, and now the AI is confused. I mean, you can guess the blooming plot. This is ridiculous. So they kidnap her, break down a wall in her house, so she's now in her garden. You can see the neighbours are nosying. That looks like 2 gay fellas next door. You know, we've got everybody in this. Isn't that great? I don't know what they're doing in the garden at this time of night, but there you go. So maybe it's a rogue episode. But
sorry, Brendan, are you saying that they're gay robots?
No. They're not gay robots, but there's 2 fellas in the garden opposite them.
Oh, sorry. Them in the middle. Oh, sorry. I didn't see those guys.
Oh, I don't think gay robots.
Gay robots.
They've got amazing guns there. Look at that.
It's a funny looking gun, to be honest. Is it a gun?
It's a busy neighborhood. Everybody's kind of in the garden, and on the other side is Mrs. Flood. You know, it's like, whoa. So you see the whole thing. Then she's beamed up to the actual rocket by that orb. Can you see that orb there? Because that orb is in a lot of other photographs. Then a very cartoon-esque rocket takes off. And then
does it split the whole planet open when it takes off?
TARDIS follows it in a kind of cartoon way. There she is. She's not in economy. That's what I can say. That's not economy. And then you get a whole load of people in pajamas. It's an Adric episode, everyone. And she's the queen. And we go through. I mean, is there anything that's absolutely getting you going? Is it got the action and the sci-fi that you want, Doug?
I like the robots. I like the retro design of the robots.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I do. But no. But you know what? I'm still looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll love it when I watch it tomorrow.
I'm asking myself, Dwayne, why am I watching it tomorrow when I've watched it now in photo? This is like looking at those photo snaps, telly snaps from the 60s.
I was going to say that these photos are readily available, obviously.
Yeah,
why do we
yeah.
even need to watch the? Why do we even need
Yeah,
to
why
watch the
is there so
episode?
many photos?
Yeah.
Dwayne, I don't have to look far. They have released all these. Now, I have to say, I think this is desperate marketing. I mean, I've managed to stitch most of this together. I don't know what the plot is, but you can guess.
Yeah, of course you can.
You know, she has her moment when she goes in the TARDIS. Oh my gosh, it's bigger on the inside. He goes, hey, baby, it's bigger on the inside. Hey, we can go anywhere and all that nonsense. Then he shows that he's a man and he can go underneath the TARDIS and work a spanner. And then we have the moment when they can't go back to Earth. The whole essence of the series. It's the theme. And then, of course, we have a bit of space action that'll probably last about 1 minute from the 46 minutes when you get a few explosions, a few guns, and that's it. That's your fun. Because as you know, he likes to write soap opera instead. Then we've got somebody who's a lot better than Adric. I approve. Max
Ricky
Park.
September's brother.
Yes. I wonder if he's the toxic one, though, because this is a bit like Pex from Paradise Towers, and they made him like the idiot, didn't they?
He kind of looks like Pex, actually, now that you say it.
Yeah, I know.
Just with muscles.
So,
come to put the world of the robot revolution to rights.
Yeah, Robot Revolution. And then a lot of fans looked at this shot when she got hit by a gun, and then that happened.
Looks like she's shooting herself.
Well, some people said, is it a Dalek? But I think it's just the effect is similar.
Yeah.
I can't say.
I don't think it is.
And then obviously there's a revolution going on. I mean, as you say, Dwayne, that the clue's there. And she needs to use her medical skills. And then the doctor looks, as usual, worried. He's thinking, do I actually cry now or do I save it for
I was just going to say that.
or do
He's welling up there. I can sense it.
His eyeballs are glistening.
Yeah. As an actor, he's got lots of decisions to make. Do I cry early in the episode or a bit later?
Pop a squirt.
Yeah. It's important.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks, folks.
That's it. And he's about to... He's telling his companion, he's going, now, what we'll do... This is actually a rehearsal bit. He'll just say, I'm going to cry in a minute. Now, you react by saying, it's good to let it out, son. And, I mean, it just... none of this is grabbing me. The outfits are not grabbing me. So there you go. It's a revolution. People get injured. And some people are on a drip. There you go. And we have some fun and some jokes.
When I saw this preview, an ad on YouTube popped up for the AI killer robot Annabelle. Have any of you seen the ad for that movie?
No.
I actually, how you can skip the preview? I was like, this is way more interesting, this video, than I'm watching. And I thought it felt like a Doctor Who episode. And it was timely given all the AI stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is going to grab people's imaginations, but we'll see.
But, I mean, I will have shown you in the end about 50 photographs. Is there anything that's grabbing you as, ooh? Because remember, when we were kids, you would see maybe one photograph in the magazine. Or you would hear, you'd see a trailer with one clip and a hand. Is there anything grabbing you? I don't know if this is the AI thing. You will surrender to me.
Is that Johnny Five?
He's alive.
Johnny Five is alive.
I don't know if he's in it or he's in another one because he was in the trailer. So basically, there's this creature somewhere.
Omega.
I know. It's So there you go, lads. I mean, I've really kind of sated your appetite, and unfortunately, the reviews came out and started saying interesting things like shaky start.
Oh.
A fun concept that could have been executed better. Now, we've heard this before, haven't we? Space babies.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, listen to this bit. This is from the Radio Times, but the episode is dragged down in various ways, most of which we can't talk about. Okay. Suffice to say that the episode's climax, involving a rather ludicrous reveal, fails to stick the landing. There's also some very on-the-nose writing, characters stating the obvious rather than allowing the episode's themes to speak for themselves. I mean,
well, failing to stick the landing was pretty much last season. That kept happening.
Look at those words. Yeah, drag down, ludicrous, fails.
And that's a friendly publication.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is absolutely... I mean, remember, you've only got 8 episodes. You know, I'm talking about when we used to have 26 episodes a season. Come on. What, you've only got 8 episodes, RTD, and the Doctor won't be in one of them. So, man, launch the series. Smith and Jones was a pretty good one. When we come to that, I thought Smith and Jones was a good launch to that season. But yeah, come on. But that's shocking. But it's not just the Radio Times, you see. You get loads of different ones. The Telegraph, a great intro to the companion, but with an odd preachy subtext. It's the family-friendly slot that makes the lurch into gender politics tonally jarring.
Oh, they are. They've edited this out of all the previews, and we're going to get in there and just get hammered with it, aren't we?
Yes.
It's just going to be jarring, because that's the sort of stuff that you like, enjoying it, and then all of a sudden it's a quib remark or something stupid that just pulls you right out of the show.
Yep. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Still got 3 out of 5 though.
It's still, I think what I'm seeing is they're saying she makes a good impression. It's a good launch story for her. Of course, the Doctor's probably rubbish. The story's probably rubbish, but she comes out of it okay. So I think that's where some of the stars appear from. It's a good story.
Toxic masculinity. That guy proposing on his knee, that was really toxic, eh?
Or the lad with the pecs, who obviously likes guns, maybe.
So toxic.
Yeah, it is. But this is how bad it's getting. This is Doctor Who nowadays. You've got space and time. Our favourite returns with an episode full of rockets, ray guns, and killer robots, but an underlying theme of toxic masculinity. Welcome to the planet of the incels. Location unconfirmed, but presumably somewhere in the manosphere. It's the family-friendly slot that makes the lurch into gender politics tonally jarring. A hard-hitting Netflix drama is one thing. Early evening entertainment is another. One can imagine young viewers turning to their parents and asking what species these scary-sounding incels are, and whether coercive control is a bit like remote control. Good luck answering that one, grown-ups. This stab at satire is daft, dumb, and clumsily done.
Wow. And that's Radio Times.
That's the Telegraph.
Wow. Okay. Don't hold back. They obviously don't care what RTD thinks of him now.
Well, maybe he's not as protected as he used to think he was. Maybe people are thinking you are a busted flush.
Man, you wouldn't get mainstream media panning that sort of stuff 12 months ago, that's for sure.
No. So total film, I'm trying to be fair, just to give you a taster. The Robot Revolution is an impressive first episode for the new companion. So that seems to be something that does come through. They give us some helpful tips here. Pros and cons of the first episode. Verada see-through impresses. Belinda's arrival leads to an intriguing new dynamic. Here we go. Terrific production design and colourful sci-fi. The downside, a lightweight story, but that's often the case with first episodes. It shouldn't be, though. There's some slightly muddled plotting towards the end. When is the Doctor finally going to play some tunes on that blooming jukebox? Well, we've mentioned.
This sounds very similar to Boom. See, Boom, she was I thought she was good in that, but the story just didn't have substance to me, even though it was Moffat. It just didn't have the impact that his other stories have had. But I thought she was okay with what she had.
Yeah.
So maybe this is, but I don't think on that basis you'd give something 4 out of 5 just because of, one cast member being slightly impressive.
I suppose reading what it's saying there, you've got the cast member being impressive and they like the production design and sci-fi setting. So I suppose that might get it up. I'm trying to work it out. And just to wrap it off, this is the last one. Doctor Who struggles to hit its stride with serviceable season 2 opener. Doctor Who season premiere review, Robot Revolution makes us reluctant companions.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is it. I've got 5 different reviews there, and so I'm being fair. That's what the customers are saying out there. I mean,
struggles, serviceable. That's not what you want for an opening episode.
No,
that's certainly not what I got with Smith and Jones. I enjoyed Smith and Jones very much.
Yeah.
At the time, it had a great monster, had a great villain, had an interesting companion and sort of backstory with the companion. I'm not. But it didn't, ram messages down my throat either. So it doesn't sound like this is what we're going to get with.
To be honest, when you see those reviews, having not seen the episode but seeing those photographs as well, you do start to think Doctor Who has run out of steam under this regime. Where's the ideas? It just seems to be lame, run of the mill, as I say, serviceable, la 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 la. We're going through the motions.
They got their money, it's done.
Yeah. This is what I mean. As long as he gets his tick box message in and all the lovies can pat him on the back and put him up for an award, he doesn't care. And he can actually grandstand. But is it Doctor Who? And are people tuning in? And it seems even the media experts who are the reviewers of everything on telly are starting to say this is lame. And I think they're giving him a slight leeway because it's the introduction story for a new companion. But once they start running through, I bet that's going to tank a bit more. So it's really interesting what they're saying about this. So I think it's important, lads, that we actually do, as Drain was kind of advising us, let's go back to another season 2 when actually, I don't know, I felt a little bit warmer about it. And so the season 2 we're talking about is, of course, with David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. And of course, I mean, as soon as I said we were going to be looking at that, how did you feel about that one when you looked back in your memory bank, so to speak? Did you think, oh yeah, what a good season?
Sharwing.
So there we go. Right.
Okay. That was great. So we're talking season 3 of New Who.
Season 3 of New Who, and I've
season
done my
2
version.
of Tennant.
Yeah. I've done my version as per usual, which is I've rag rated it. I know Doug has as well. But there you've got the scores on the doors, everybody, in comparisons. You've got your audience appreciation figures, the millions there, who wrote them, who directed them. And this is just my viewpoint. But I will also say, which one of those have I actually seen in the last, I'd say, 8 years? And I think the truth is none. I have seen Utopia. I keep seeing the bit when Derek Jacobi reveals himself. Even though that's it.
I bet you have.
I have it on a loop with the Adric and Cascavalva, So, I mean, Dan, when you look at that, is it a season you look back fondly on?
Yeah, I do. And it actually, I was just looking at the ratings, and there's like Blink. I mean, it's funny because everyone gushes over Blink, but 6.62 mil. But geez, man, they'd kill for those numbers now, wouldn't they?
Mm.
Oh God, yeah. We were guessing 2 to 3 million. It sounded like for the Robot Revolution tomorrow.
And your memory is not cheating because you go back and watch these, and they are as good as you remember them.
I remember
even more than the overnights or the figures, the ratings you've got there is the AI over on the far corner. They're the numbers they're going to want, because those are the numbers that are going to get audiences in. I think it's really interesting that you've ranked Last of the Time Lords low, but it's got the second. Well, is it third highest ratings for the season with the equal first appreciation index. And it was a bit convoluted, that story, the way it was reset at the end. It was a typical RTD season ender.
Jesus. Yeah.
But it I guess back then it was only, season 3 for him, so it was still kind of fresh. John Sim was a huge name that was still very popular. David Tennant was massively popular as the Doctor as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not surprising that they maintained the figures right throughout and even improved a bit at the end.
Yeah, I mean, my reasoning, and I'll just say that, the less of the Time Lords, it was the Space Jesus thing, and I don't like my hero. I obviously didn't like my hero being in a birdcage. It just felt wrong what they were doing to the Doctor. They made him remember, the episode was all about Martha saving him, really. She did all the hard yards, went round the world after he whispered in her ear. He was just passive. And that's not Doctor Who. It's the wrong way around. He made it about the companion again. And that's what I struggled with. So I know it got 88. And I think sometimes audience appreciation figures, they reward you if your resolution happens. There's actually a resolution that works. And it's tidied up. But yeah, I'm just going to rattle through these. I'm not going to talk over them. But, when you look back...
I'm not a fan of Tweety Bird Tennant, but it was still a pretty good end.
Tweety Bird Tennant.
I mean, the Shakespeare Code sounded promising. It didn't... I have to say the special effects in this season weren't good at the time and are awful now. I mean, Lazarus Experiment, for example, and
Lazarus is terrible. Lazarus and Gridlock are two clunkers for me, but the others are quite good.
Yeah, Shakespeare.
I do like that it flushes out Martha's family, though. It plays a role, I guess.
It was a very black family. I have to always say that because obviously. Martha's mother.
That's a bit racist.
Because she made a racist comment about the British royal family, that are Martha's mother, because when it was the coronation day, she said that's a very white balcony. So I'm just doing the very same.
That'd be an actress.
It's not me being racist, it's called satire. So basically, that's basically what's going on there. Yeah. I mean, why she makes a comment about like that. Gridlock, yeah. He likes his cats, doesn't he, RTD? He loves his cats. Lots of cats.
Maybe he's a survival fan.
And I will not mark these Daleks highly because the Dalek story, I hated the hybrid idea. I really struggled with that.
I struggled with that.
Did you? I enjoyed it.
It was a nice early appearance by, I think Andrew Garfield pops up in that one. There's quite a few stars on the rise in this season. There's Andrew Garfield, and I think, who's the guy that played Lucifer? He was in one episode. So there's a few... And of course, the lady in Blink, I've forgotten her name now, Carrie something?
Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah, I mean, she's a big star now.
She is, yeah.
I like the Tallulah as well. I thought she did a good job.
You loved...
Well, she's one of the 6 Doctors' companions on Big Finish. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Miranda Raisin. Yep.
What a shame I can't see her though.
Well, instead I've got this amazing CGI design for you. Instead, look at that.
I don't see what everyone's problem is with this episode. It looks fine to me.
Yeah,
I've never understood it. I've enjoyed that story, and I just have never understood why people hate that so much.
As I said, I haven't seen any of them again properly for about 8 years, and but then I'm not being pulled back to watch them. Because this is Chris Chibnall's, a lot of people slag off 42, but I do remember at the time thinking it was okay because it had just
not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was done in real? Is that the one that was done in real time?
Yeah,
that was all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of the criticism of Chris Chibnall's 42 is that he's done it since again and again.
It became his trope of countdown clock.
Yeah. But again, I had no problem with that one. And of course, you hit Paul Cornell's Family of Blood, Human Nature.
Oh, they were good. I mean, come on. I mean, David Tennant, despite what we might think about him, he was, as John Smith, he broke my heart, especially that final scene where they showed the life they could have had. I think that was a really, obviously it was the writing too, but it was a beautiful couple of episodes. And those scarecrows, they were scary as hell.
They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, actually, and the acting in this was, I agree with what you're saying, Doug, but for every enjoyment of New Who, you have to go, because that chameleon watch filter thing, which seemed great in that story.
Look, I've got one.
There you go.
Who are you really? Doctor.
Are you? Yeah, are you?
I'm the doctor.
That little moment in that story, which made it sad, and I understand all the pathos and everything. So on first watching, you're going, "Oh, that's a shame," and it's unrequited love again, and but then that chameleon thing, which obviously set up Utopia, all right, has now been. You just have to suspect that anybody in our Doctor Who universe could have a chameleon watch, and we couldn't. It's been used. I mean, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was playing around with it, and you thought, these seeds, I hate them.
The Doctor's now a chameleon, because there's a watch that needs to be opened somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's how you retcon everything with a new series. You just have him open the watch and then just go from there.
It's that,
and Human Nature was another adaptation from something else that RTD wanted to nick from another medium. So he'd already done it in the first series with taking Dalek from a Big Finish story.
Yeah.
And then this he took from the New Adventures, which was originally a Seventh Doctor.
I was going to say it was the Seventh Doctor originally, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep, and the companion was Benny Summerfield, who is also River Song is a copy of Benny Summerfield.
Okay. Okay.
So nothing original again. We're reinforcing there's nothing original.
Yeah, there's lots of borrowing from other things in New Who.
So you've got
even Blink was I think it was a short story in one of the annuals, wasn't it? And they changed it to become the. I've got the annual somewhere, and there's what became Blink was like a short story in one of the annuals. So even that was nicked.
Yeah. So you know when you look back, I mean, this was a fascinating story, Blink, because it was a Doctor Light one, but it was cleverly written to use him sparingly, and yes,
I did enjoy it.
And there were great creatures. Sometimes the first time don't overuse them, but yeah, Blink really works. But now we get lots of Doctor Light episodes because I almost think it's a badge of honor for the writer going, this is where they test their mettle. They are bored by the Doctor's character. They love it when they do something different. They call it experimental. This is the problem. Blink is not really a Doctor Who story. It's just a good story.
Yeah.
And I think this is the problem. So once Blink works, you know that they all want to do another version of it. 73 yards, do this, do that. And then we get all the trite now. And I think this is the problem with New Who is you go, well, that was good, but now they want to do it again and again and again.
Yeah, those Doctor Light stories, I think there's only been two successful ones, Turn Left and Blink. The others have kind of left me a bit cold.
Yes. She was really good in this.
Yeah, really good.
And this, You see, I find Utopia had the best revelation and the best moment, but I felt it led into a bit of a damp squib of a finish. Because I didn't, and I know this is another Marmite thing, but John Sim he was fine as the Master, but I was disappointed that as soon as Derek Jacobi got in the TARDIS, he regenerated, and I was thinking, oh God! I mean, you just had to see how he did his face and everything when he transformed, and I thought, oh, that's it. We're not going to have him now. We get bye, and then we get the manic Master, and I was really wanting this menacing Master, and I was disappointed when then we get all the nonsense like Captain Jack holding onto the TARDIS, and oh God, all that stuff.
We really could have done with a suave sort of Delgado-esque Master that's just hitting on all the women and the companions and seducing them away from the Doctor so that they're not listening to him. I mean, that would be a great Master.
I was going to say something similar. I think Jacobi, I think kind of no. He was a bit theatrical, but he's a stage actor. But the John Sim, and I love John Sim as an actor, he started the whole thing of the kind of the Master being a bit of a psycho, and I miss the suave Bond type villain, that thing that Roger Delgado did. I think it would have been fabulous if they went back to that. It would have been so much fun to watch.
I still like Jacobi's line where he goes, "Killed by a girl," an insect.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't know. I don't like to see the Doctor as passive like this. And that's the other one. We had it in Leisure Hive, make the Doctor old, but we knew they were just toying with that once. Then we have the Doctor again old. Then we had the Time of the Doctor with Matt Smith. And I find the whole thing blooming tedious, you see, then. But and of course, I can never say the Tok'ra Flame were going to be the Daleks in the first series, weren't they, if they couldn't get the Daleks copyright.
Man, that would not have flown.
No, definitely not.
Nah.
That was a weird two-parter. I really quite enjoyed Sound of Drums, but they really lost me with Last of the Time. And the whole lame thing about like that they made the Doctor come back because everyone had positive thoughts and everyone around the world simultaneously said the Doctor. It was like he was already doing magic even before this series. That just didn't make any sense. And then he did the whole Messiah thing where he flew in the air, and come on.
No, and it's all to do with phones, and they did that with Stolen Earth as well. If everybody uses their phone, they had the same with the Cybermen. When if everybody has an earpiece, and you think, this is, I just find it too gimmicky and cheap. I understand in Terror of the Autons, everybody had a bit of plastic. But I don't know. There seemed to be more menace to that sort of thing. Now I'm actually
That worked.
I'm going to put this up because it's interesting, because obviously nobody on any other streaming platform has any exclusive, but we all know the unsaid stuff, that actually there are rumblings and there are issues at Bad Wolf with RTD, with Ncuti, with the BBC. We know there are problems. And it's just interesting that people like to jump the gun. People are saying that Disney might be trying to make a proposal to take over. I think the best way of putting it is, I think we all secretly know that deep down it's all open season now. It's open season. It's all to play for. So, of course, streamers can do lovely exclusive saying they talk to somebody's tea lady and they saw a secret post-it note. But basically, the rumour mill will be, quite rightly, saying who will replace RTD, who will replace Ncuti, will Doctor Who come back, what's the problem, will Disney buy it, will Universal want to buy it, will Sony want to buy it, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God, it's 1993 again, and it's Amblin's going to do it. Spielberg's going to do it.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox. Remember all that?
Do you remember years and years ago, I don't know if I'm making this up, that briefly they talked about Amblin doing something with Bill Cosby as the Doctor and the TARDIS being like a vending machine or something. I'm sure I'm not making that up. That's how silly it got.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone suggested it.
Yeah, imagine if that happened. My God.
Would you be? I mean, if we're going to hit all the rumors again of a big American media company or Amazon Prime, you just look at them all. Are you going to be a stickler for it needs to keep its British content, or it needs a British producer or something? What would your rules be? Or would you say no? We just need fresh blood. End of.
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? I think deep down, I'd love it to be British, but I think if it's good, if it's original, if it sticks to the concept and the premise of Doctor Who, go for it. Impress me. Go for
Who's
it.
in charge of it, though? That's the trouble. As in, whether it's a new producer and a new team, I feel as though the BBC just allowed RTD just to run riot for these 2 seasons, and that's possibly why we are where we are. So if the BBC then suddenly go, oh, you've got money, hello, come on in. Can you just take a fresh look at Doctor Who and just do all this, please? Thank you. Are they going to oversee it? Because this has been the problem. They need to say, no, you can't do it. No, you can't do that. No, you can't.
Are the BBC in enough financial trouble to get desperate enough to sell it for a shit ton of money?
Yeah, but I suppose everybody's got the price. Look what happened to James Bond.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, and if they've got no vision for it, and they haven't got the resources and the writings on the wall, then the obvious next step is, well, how much for an outright purchase? Because I mean, they've killed all their other major IPs. Top Gear's dead.
Yeah.
Doctor Who, and what was the third one? I think it was David Attenborough.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose everything has its price. Your worry is what goes on next. I mean, James Bond as a franchise, as you know, now. Well, you could argue even with the Broccolis, it changed over time, and whether it changed too much as a brand. Doctor Who has changed anyway under the BBC ownership, and it's just whether I don't. What would the BBC sell Doctor Who? That's almost like selling your granny. Would you do it? Arthur Daniels here, RTD, Moffat, Chibnall are not the only brilliant, talented, creative and diverse writers out there. They want you all to believe they are omnipotent. They are not. There is no sympathy, There is no sympathy. People want this to continue, and people want other people to be given a chance. So I know it's interesting. I think we're going to be hearing an awful lot about that as we go through. But we were just in the middle of our kind of review of that season with David Tennant. I don't want, and this is what I mean, this is under the BBC control. They allowed Doctor Who to be turned into this messiah. I mean, this is not Doctor Who. And to be honest, at the time, it wasn't Doctor Who. We just bought into it because we had some pop music playing and it linked with the drums, and the Manic Master was interesting for the first time around. And we didn't really see what was being done in front of us, which is the program is now being taken away.
Yeah.
I thought it was Doctor Who at the time.
A flying doctor, thanks to mobile phones, a doctor in a bird cage, a doctor passive and doing nothing for nearly 45 minutes. Dan, I totally disagree with you.
I'm not saying it's great. I had the same criticisms. I'm not a fan of how they cucked him in the end and basically had Martha running around doing everything. Yeah, I mean they really put the limelight on the Master, I guess. But I wasn't. I enjoyed it at the time, but I didn't prefer. I didn't like John Sims' Manic Master. It just to me it was too over the top.
Way too over the top, and then he got worse every time they brought him back.
Well, you see, I think because
I liked him in season 10 with Missy. I thought he was much better
He was better when he was older.
Yeah, that was a good dynamic. Yeah, that was a good dynamic.
I was just thinking, because of the format, which is a quick wham bam, thank you, ma'am, 45-minute format, instead of 4 episodes of 25, and you build it up and you build the mood up and you build the character up. John Sims Master is a victim of that. I will defend him, because I'm thinking you've got to establish he's villainous, and the way to do that quickly is to go down this manic road. Jacoby knew he only had that moment, I suppose, to just transform, say a few lines brilliantly, and then just disappear. Whereas John Sim has to establish himself as the master. And of course, in 45-minute episodes, it's bang, fast, wallop. There seems to be no space in Rtd's Doctor Who to actually do subtlety, nuance, quietness, quiet menace. I think that's a problem. It's like the top of the pops Doctor Who. It's too bright and garish.
Dwayne's very fond. I think he loves it.
Every year, RTD tried to get bigger and bigger, and he's still trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and he always tries to have these mammoth finales that are ultimately disappointing. This was one of them. And the finale the following year would be disappointing as well. So it hasn't really stopped. At least Moffat's finales were a little bit more complex and a little bit more interesting from a sci-fi point of view.
Yeah, they were
incorporating lots of time travel and things like that, which is Doctor Who is a show about time travel, so you'd expect that. But yeah, RTD seems to have a knack for doing these unsatisfying conclusions to series, which continues.
Yeah. So actually, God, I'm trying to think. Why have I not seen these episodes for 8 years? And I'm starting to answer my own question here, which is, well,
because you hate New Who.
No, well, it's because New Who is a different way of doing it. Because in classic Who, you always had some amazing world building, mood building episode 1s. And actually, sometimes I just enjoy the episode 1 and a bit of episode 2, and part 4 less so. When all the reveals happen and the resolution happens. With New Who, you just get the whole lot thrown at you within that episode. And I find that there's not many thrills, not much jeopardy seen through. They always love to reset. I mean, lots of people die and then they come back to life. They're scared of peril. The female companion can't be in much peril. She has to always solve it. People worry about toxic masculinity and misogyny, but in Doctor Who, I always find, oh my God, it's girl power again. And the male doctor just has to kind of go, well done you. I've learned from you. Well done. It's that kind of thing. Can't stand it. That's what I mean. And the thing is, Dan, I look at some of the classic episodes and I'm thinking, oh, I like that bit. I love that scene. I love that moment in New Who. But can I be bothered to watch the 45 minutes? It's the reveal I tend to like. And that's where the drama is. But the rest of it and the narrative arc, who gives a damn? I'm not interested.
It's when it's character driven, you're more likely to go back and rewatch it. When it's not, it tends to fizz a bit. And that's the only thing that I found with Moffat's complex storylines is once you knew what it was less satisfying for a rewatch sometimes.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Others feel that.
You know that totally. I was just thinking that every single episode of New Who up to the end of Capaldi I enjoyed at the time, but there are very few of them that I revisit because there's no reason to. But I'm still revisiting the classic stuff to this day.
And I've always asked that question: why do I go more to the classic? And it's not. I don't think it's an age thing. I don't. That's too simplistic because there's other shows I'll watch, and they're more recent. But with Doctor Who, I think it's because they've changed the format completely. I equally don't watch Attack of the Cybermen all the time or Vengeance on Varos, although I don't mind those stories. But the 45-minute format, I think we're missing something. That's the problem to me, personally speaking.
Toilet break.
Hmm?
You're missing a toilet break.
So, you know, what was your high and low from that season, Dan? Because you've obviously got mine there. What were yours?
I do go back and watch Utopia quite a lot. I think Human Nature, Family of Blood, Blink, yeah, they'd be all green on my list. Smith and Jones, not really. Yeah, that didn't do it for me at the time. I mean, it was okay. It's not red. You're pretty. Well, it's interesting. You got Daleks in Manhattan yellow, but
yeah,
Evolution of the Daleks red. So you didn't enjoy that whole two-parter, or?
No, because I am extremely kind of strict with my objectivity. That, like, if I like a part 1, I may not like a part 4 in Old Who, because part 1 is all about building a mood and a mystery, and therefore that you know, I prefer them. So Daleks in Manhattan is setting it up, but of course then you get the whole disaster of the hybrids and all that stuff in the second episode, and I really didn't like that. That's why I've changed the. You know, it didn't work for me. I thought, yet again, we're playing with the Daleks. Yet again, we're spoiling the Daleks. Yet again, we're diminishing the Daleks. I'm not buying into it.
It's funny, the whole Dalek thing, because it's like, I feel sorry for him because he's like, he takes one for the team, and then next minute they're all like, you know, oh shit, let's kill him. And you're thinking, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Did they have a plan? It's just, yeah. Anyway.
And look, the hybrid idea. We know that. I mean, they're Puritans, the Daleks, aren't they? Let's be honest. They don't want. They don't want their species to be contaminated. So the hybrid thing was weird. So Dwayne, you've been pondering your high and low from this season, honestly.
I'm very similar to Dan. Utopia was probably the high point, with particularly the master reveal. And you were mentioning that earlier, where new series is often about moments within episodes rather than the whole episodes themselves. And it was that couple of minutes at the end with the reveal of the master. But it started with Human Nature. That build-up started because you got the whole backstory of the Watch and everything, which starts in Human Nature and then it's brought into Utopia. So I thought that was built up really nicely. That was an arc that was kind of not the whole series arc, but it ran over a few episodes and a couple of different stories as well. Blink was also a high point. I really enjoyed that because of I think not that it was Dr. Light, but I think the Weeping Angels were really interesting and really scary. We hadn't had a scary monster for probably since Moffat's first season, with the Are You My Mummy monster.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
So we hadn't had anything like that since then, and so the Weeping Angels were good. But yeah, as they kept getting more and more used, they became, you know, you didn't. It's one of those monsters where you can only get that shock value once. And then when you go back, you haven't got it again. You're just appreciating what they are. So Blink sort of diminishes for me over time, but I never get sick of that master reveal in Utopia.
Yeah.
I also like Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. I don't consider them two separate episodes. It's one story for me. So I do enjoy that whole story. I like the setting. I like the mutant Dalek. I think that's a really interesting idea. What else is there? Any lows for me on that one? Yeah, probably the last episode, because it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense.
Nah, it's a whole load of blunderbuss, you know. And Doug, high and low?
High is definitely human nature and family of blood for pretty much everything we've discussed. The low one has got to be gridlock. Like the name, it didn't go anywhere for me. I was really bored with it. But the human nature and family of blood, I've actually, when I was saying I don't rewatch them much, those two I go back to quite often because they're so multi-layered and they're so well written and well acted. It's quite a strange season, really. There's a lot of really good episodes, but for me, there's only 4 standouts, and it's Blink, Human Nature, Family of Blood, and I disagree with the other guys a bit. I really like Smith and Jones.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gridlock. Can I just ask you all a question about? It's always confused me about Gridlock, and I've never minded the story, although it's a very character-based story. There's not much story to it, really. But why include the macra, and why make the macra totally different to what they were originally? Like they were intelligent. They were intelligent creatures who were able to communicate, but they were like savages in Gridlock, and just like creepy monsters. Like that's not what the original macra were.
My gut feeling was that was a gimmick. They probably had a monster, and then they thought, let's call it the macra and grab the bit of nostalgia. Because you're right, there was no connection whatsoever, really.
Well, because the macra lived off the gas that was produced in that colony in the original story, so they were living off the gas from the exhaust.
They used to control. They controlled the people, though, didn't they?
Yeah. So why weren't they doing that?
I mean, it's Gridlock? Like Sutek that's not being Sutek.
Yeah. See, he's done it before.
I feel it. Yeah. The Sutek is exactly what I was going to say. My answer was going to be, well, you saw it with Sutek, that basically you do a classic reference and then wreck it and change it and not give a damn. And do it on the cheap, do it quickly, don't even explain it very well. I mean, that nonsense about Sutek hanging onto the TARDIS. I mean, it was in this season that I think I've got one of my shots where basically if Captain Jack's holding onto the TARDIS, was he holding onto Sutek's leg? Where was it? Because Sutek was there as well, apparently. It's getting a bit, busy on the outside.
How did you do Sutek and not have some green action? Like,
what?
Like it just, where he goes and
with the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had red eyes, for crying out loud. I mean,
they changed him to red.
Just why?
Yes, he may be back as well.
Even the young fans know how dumb that was.
Yeah. And it may be dumb as well that I'm doing 3 reviews over the next 3 or 4 days as well. First impressions, Saturday 11. Formal reviews, Sundays at 5:45. And Rtd'S Children of Time with under 35 panelists only. Yes, I'm being ageist too. Tuesday at 8.
So I'm there for that one.
Yes. Doug isn't, because as I introduced him at the beginning, he's too old.
Okay, thank you. Where are you finding all these? Where are you finding all these under 35s? Are you hanging around schoolyards or something? Where are you getting these people from?
Well, it's. I know. I had to ask some panelists how old are you, and that's I'm 34 and 10 months. I'm thinking, right, you're in.
We're all lied to get on the show.
Yeah, I know. Gosh. So, there you go. There should be some fun ahead, but the detox are going to probably find it's going to be toxic for the next few weeks, because we will be previewing the episode to come the day after.
We did go awfully quiet. We got awfully quiet, didn't we, when we started talking about that? We've sort of livened up a bit now.
You did. You were pondering life and stuff like that. I know.
Sorry, guys. I'll be here.
I was checking my phone, to be honest.
So, yes. So, as Garbage says, 11 p.m. UK time, first impressions reviews. Yep, we're ready. So, thank you, detoxers. I don't think you're feeling too detox this time. I think...
No.
I think there are lots
I'm fine. I'm fine. I've got lots and lots of classic Who. Love it.
That's it, exactly. And what are you going to be up to now? Tomorrow, Dan, are you going to be watching any old Who?
No, just I'll watch the new Who.
Well, as somebody said a lot earlier in our stream, they said, I'm not going to watch Robot Revolution. I'm going to watch Robots of Death. yeah.
I'll save that for afterwards when I. You know what? You like this. You go watch season 14, and then you go watch Twin Dilemma, and you go, "This is great." Like it really. That's the good that comes out of something bad.
Yes.
You know? Even Time Lash, you're like, man, Time Lash is actually a good story compared to.
Don't diss Time Lash.
I'm not. I'm
great.
complimenting it. I'm complimenting.
Yes.
I like Time Lash, but
I like the little
for all
puppet.
the critics.
You know what? I like the snake puppet in it. I like that. So Doug,
of course you do. Of course you like the puppet monster.
Yeah, you like the puppet and you like the snake, so why not like a snake puppet?
Yeah. So Doug, Doctor Who this weekend, apart from reviewing New Who?
I'll be checking my latest subscription count on Always Say Uncle, which is currently up to no, I won't say. Yes, and I'll be looking forward to watching Doctor Who tomorrow and talking to you again at 11 your time. And do you know what? What if it turns out to be good? Wouldn't that be lovely?
You mean all the reviews are wrong?
Yeah. All the bullshit press have just panned it for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Quite often the public don't agree with the reviewers. It's we might enjoy it.
Well, while you've advertised your channel, back to pure historical Dwayne, Sirens of Audio, what's coming up?
Well, just before I came on with you, I posted a new episode of the podcast, and it's an interview with one of your favourite people, Jessica Martin from The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. So we've got Mags on talking about her time on the show and also her time with Big Finish as well. And we got some nice feedback on our live events too, which I'll be talking about on that episode. So that's all live right now. Nice. So as soon as you finish here, go over there.
That's where I'm going now. That's where I'm going. I'm watching it now.
So I will be with Doug tomorrow reviewing. Sunny Waffles, who's in our thread at the moment, is also on that panel, and so is Divine and Dragon. That's our panel tomorrow night with the raw. I can't say raw. What do I have to say? The honest, frank, feisty first impressions. So thanks, lads. Thanks for these 2 hours we won't get back. I think it feels like that. The robot revolution. Anyway, good to see you. The detox is now over, and I think it's going to be a very problematic 8 weeks for our detoxers, but we'll give it a go. Right then.
I can't wait.
There's some people in that chat that things to kick on. Someone's giving Creature of the Pit a hard time.
Well, they don't know. They've obviously never seen it.
I can rise.
They're trying to get Brendan to keep the show going. Yeah.
I know. We all know what they're up to. So, see you all tomorrow.
Can I just say, Garbage just posted my personal YouTube channel. That's not where the Sirens of Audio podcast is. So just do a search for Sirens of Audio, and you'll find it there. If you go to that one that he posted in the chat, you'll get me reading lots of Three Investigators audio books and things like that. So,
well,
if you're into that,
that sounds interesting.
Garbage doing well there. Well done, Garbage. I know he's trying to lovely advertise everybody. Thank you.
Did I say garage? Garbage.
Garage. Okay then. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night. See you all tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Bye-bye, Duggan. Bye-bye.